do you think petitions, which there are a lot of petitions going around, do you think these are effective, or is it more effective to hear voices individually?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think petitions are particularly. I mean, I think if you got a huge number of people to sign a petition, it would be effective. But I think it would be way more effective if every person who signed a petition just instead sent an email to board members individually or wrote a letter. I totally agree with everything that Ananya said. And yeah, I like it really only takes 20 people to change board members' mind or to change the direction of a policy. That was the thing, and tell me if you guys disagree. Like that was the thing I took away the most from my experience on the board was how hypersensitive the school board and all local politics is to perceived public opinion, which is incredibly easy to shape. Um, because local government is so uh, distant from people, so few people are engaged with it. When people do engage with it, the people in power notice. School boards at the bottom of the ballot, but have this enormous control of the school system, and at the same time, don't really hear from folks. So yeah, like even more than emails, I think sending letters to board members is hyper effective. The board members open them, read them. They don't receive a whole lot of letters. They do receive a decent number of emails. Calling the board office, I think, is effective. That will get reported to the board. Um, Tweeting at the board members, I think, is effective. And also, I think the barrier to participation at board meetings is actually significantly lower now than it was when things were in person. Because all you have to do is sign up. You can sign up to speak at a board meeting because they have a section for public comments, and you can just do it over Zoom. You can share your beliefs directly to the people in power. So yeah, there's a whole slew of things that are really effective. But the more direct you get, where you know that the board members are reading it, the more likely it is to actually be effective.
I
Hmm.
probably say, um, I probably say one thing that really shaped my term and what I would talk about with board members is when students who I've never heard of would actually come up to me and talk to me about issues that they care about. Um, uh, Bouncing off of what Madden and Anya said, which is what I completely agree with. I think students who are organized in a school, let's say Blair High School, and it were your newspaper club, if all of you came to talk to this mob, which never happens, then this mob would notice and therefore bring up the issues that you're talking about in backdoor conversations, in meetings, etc. Or if, as a newspaper club, you all publish the resources to email these board members or write the letters, that would also be effective too. I think it's not one thing or another, it's everything combined. And that way you'd be able to push on the issues that you're hoping to get done. And we've seen that by folks who are anti-boundary changes. They're doing anything and everything possible. And they're not even just hitting the board members from social media or from letters or from groups online. They're hitting us legally as well. And so that's one thing that you can see. They're doing anything and everything possible to get their voices heard on this issue. And for students who agree with us on integration, it's time for them to do the same.
And what about people like parents, teachers, or administrators? Do they have other options that they should be taking to make their voices heard?
Teachers and administrators have unions, so they voice their concerns through there. Parents has the MCC-PTA, just as we have our SMOB and county student governments. So parents traditionally voice their concerns through there, but a lot of parents who don't go through MCC-PTA straight up write to the board. They don't want to waste time on this, on whatever they're trying to get their voices heard on, but they do that. Board members show up to MCC PTA meetings, and they also show up to student events. And teachers and parents who voice their concerns on issues can either go through their parent route as part of MCC PTA or through their unions, which would then speak to MCPS leaders.